Hello everybody, welcome to the video this week. Today we are going to be talking about the America-China summit. President Trump recently went to China to have face-to-face meetings with Xi Jinping. So to judge the summit, we have to look at what were the expectations. So the expectations were largely that nothing big would happen because there are a lot of tensions between the countries. So why are there a lot of tensions between the countries? If you look at this picture, China has been building more and more military outposts in the South China Sea and pressuring American allies, especially countries like Vietnam and the Philippines. And as you can see with this picture, last spring, a large trade war happened between the countries. And as you can see, tariffs went all the way up to 145% on China. But as you can see, the tariffs have stayed at about 30% for a while now. Another factor is the chaos of President Trump. He changes his mind every week, sometimes every day, on some subjects, and he's done a lot of damage to the world system, like the United Nations and NATO. And of course, there's the Iran war. China is an ally of Iran. They get 40% of their oil from Iran, and they buy 80% of Iran's oil. And America is still blockading the strait. So because of those reasons and many more, there are a lot of high tensions between the countries. So let's look at what was not expected to happen. So of course, no large trade deal can happen when there's that many tensions between the countries. And of course, there'll be no reduction in tariffs, at least not right away. And there'll be definitely no agreement on the status of Taiwan. As you can see in this picture, China and America have a big difference in how they view Taiwan. America has a one China policy, which is America doesn't recognize Taiwan as independent. They don't have a full diplomatic relationship with them, but also they don't want China to invade Taiwan, and America supports Taiwan militarily. On the other side, you can see China has a one China principle, which means the Chinese Communist Party says Taiwan is a part of China and will be forcibly reunified with China one day in the future, one way or another. So now let's go to what was expected to happen. China will buy more American goods. China will try to be viewed as an equal, not militarily or economically, but definitely diplomatically. The Chinese public and the Chinese government view America as in decline and China as ascendant. So pretty much they think they're catching up to America. And China wants global stability. Uh, by that, I mean no stupid wars like the Iran War. When Trump and Israel started the Iran War, Xi Jinping said the world can't be ruled by the law of the jungle, were his exact words. And China wants to continue the trade truce. So now let's look at what actually happened. So China did promise to purchase $10 billion of agricultural goods this year. And the next 3 years, they'll purchase $17 billion of American agricultural goods. The big winners were the American beef and soybean industry. Since the trade war, America has largely been replacing those American products with Brazilian beef and soybeans. Also, Xi Jinping gave a blunt warning on Taiwan and said that the two countries may go to war over Taiwan if mistakes are made. She gave a kind of like a PowerPoint presentation to President Trump on the history of Chinese and Taiwanese relations, and apparently it made an impact on Trump. But at the time, President Trump said he gave no comment on the Taiwan issue. But now I want you to watch this video. Let's go.
President Trump said the sale of American weapons to the self-ruled island are a very good negotiating chip following his summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping here in China. Now, in an interview with Fox News, Trump also warned Taiwan against formally declaring independence from China. Beijing sees Taiwan as a breakaway province which will be taken over by force if necessary. And in one of Xi's strongest ever statements, the Chinese leader cautioned Trump that the Taiwan issue, if not handled properly, could lead to conflict. Taiwan's presidential office, meanwhile, said the U.S. policy towards Taiwan remains the same, saying the U.S. is bound by law to provide it with weapons and that the defense helps deter against regional threats. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, Trump has yet to approve a $14 billion arms package for Taiwan, causing worry there that Trump is considering making a deal with Xi as a way to kind of get China to force Iran's hand and reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, days after Trump's visit, it's been confirmed that on Tuesday, Xi will host Russian President Vladimir Putin. The Kremlin said Putin watched Trump's visit here very closely. Rhiannon. Oh.
So as you can see there, President Trump hinted that he will not approve the $14 billion arms deal that was approved by Congress recently. But President Trump is going to have to battle Congress and the bureaucracy of the State Department and the Department of Defense. Most senators and most representatives in both parties want to continue supporting Taiwan. And this has been true for the bureaucracy in Congress since the 1980s. In the 1980s, President Reagan said it was American policy to not let China interfere with the level of support given to Taiwan. Another big thing that happened was there will be a board of trade set up, which will be made of officials from both countries. And in the future, they may be able to lower tariffs on $30 billion of goods. And furthermore, China promised to buy 200 Boeing planes. The funny thing is, even after the deal was announced, the stock price of Boeing went down because Boeing was anticipating selling 300 planes. Going on to my take, or my opinion, I think it mostly went as expected. No big breakthroughs. But there was a step in the right direction in that tensions were lowered. My only surprises were that Trump was a little too gushing when it came to interacting with Xi Jinping and talking about Xi Jinping. He said he's a great leader, and everything he said about Xi was hyperbolic and great, which I think is because of two factors. He's weakened by Iran, and he has a man crush on dictators because he wants to be a dictator himself. And the only other surprise, I was a little surprised that there's possibly going to be less support for Taiwan. But as I said before, Trump has a penchant of changing his mind. So hopefully he changes his mind again and passes the arms deal. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have any comments or questions, please utilize the comments below. Thank you.